Okay. So, run it by me again. You're thinking of having a podcast, right? But maybe you don't know how to start a podcast, or maybe you don't know what platform to be on. I know. There's a lot. But maybe you also don't know what kind of budget you'll need, right? Okay. Well, how about this? 216 Creator Studios. Ring a bell? Okay, well, here. There you can buy a pre-built show. Or, better yet, you can build your own show. Have all the creativity in the world. And the best part about that, it can be all done within your budget. So, no worries. How about this? Start here. Just go to 216creatorstudios.com. And I guarantee you, they will help you find your voice.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Cappuccino behind the screen once again with another episode of Stories of the Paranow. Listen, if you like what you see here today, make sure you go to that old Google box, go to the YouTube tab, hit live, 216 Creator Studios. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ding that bell for future notifications. We appreciate the support. Man,
up?
It's been a little bit of time since we've seen each other, huh?
You know, it's been a second, but we do record the third Sunday or third Monday of every month.
Of every month.
I know. It just feels like a lot of time.
It just goes by, you know. I miss. I almost want to do it every week. I ain't gonna lie, but everybody's so busy. You know.
We can make time if you like and subscribe.
That's right. We roll great commercials here. Obviously, my and Seabass here. Tbone's up next.
Absolutely.
We're gonna.
Y'all are never gonna stop seeing me.
That's right. You're gonna
Can't
see
stop, won't
that
stop.
red beard out there like a Viking.
I don't know what you're talking about. My beard's not red.
These are allegations that we need to.
This is cap. Absolutely.
Gotta adjust your color filter.
Yes. So, and you know, nothing totally confirmed yet, but the team has been talking to a coven.
We have very closely, actually.
Yeah.
And so that's in the works. It's in the works.
We'll bring them to the table.
Yeah, we're bringing them to the table.
Yeah.
So just be on the lookout. They are local to the Chicago area. I'm not without spilling too much about who they are because I do want it to be a bit of a surprise. Yep. They are from Chicago. They're going to come out. We're going to discuss a little bit of witchery and witchcraft.
That's right. And then we actually have a 216 location that is allegedly haunted. So we might pick a day to do one of our episodes on location there and tour it. Mm-hmm. And get the stories from Tom Adele over there.
Oh my
goodness.
Who
has a show with us called Let Me Tell You Something, Bro. It's a wrestling show. It would be very kind of interesting because some of the stories that he tells me makes the hair stand up on the back of my head.
Ooh.
Very,
Drew,
very spoopy.
You don't have hair.
Oh, no.
On the back of my head, which is like the back, which I get to comb over. I am Italian. That's how we do things, you know.
Absolutely.
So
Amazing.
So what do we got today? What are we talking about today, guys?
So today we have a short video for you all to see if you've been on TikTok, which is finally back on the App Store. Thank God. I actually haven't re-downloaded it. It's a short video for Seabass of a haunted bathroom. Spoopy. We got mine of a missing village, and then we got something a little personal from Tyler over here.
Uh-oh.
So it's gonna be real good stuff.
All right. Well, I guess let's dive right into it. Huh, Seabass?
For sure. I've probably seen this like scroll across my feed a couple different times on a couple different platforms. And I like every time I look at it, I go, oh, Jesus. The bathroom is like the worst place for anything paranormal to happen.
Absolutely.
At the wrong
Vulnerable.
I am not meeting the devil with my pants around my ankles.
No.
Absolutely not.
If I'm on the toilet, the last thing I want is for some spoopy stuff to happen. And it's like, I'd rather be like, in Lethal Weapon where he figures out there's a bomb underneath the toilet. I'd rather be in that situation than something spoopy happen that I can't explain.
You don't want it to be spoopy and poopy?
Oh, no, that's the worst combination.
A spooky dookie.
No.
All right, so let's check out.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, so that's that, right?
Shout out to my Latin homies with the "Ay Dios mío."
I say that
Nobody knows
unironically
me.
all the time.
个字，你看摸它下边第三个字，你看摸它的左边第四个字，
Oh, no, we're being invaded.
摸它的上边，再摸它的下边，摸完它的左边，再摸右边，两个手一拉，一直往下这么
We're just gonna do that.
Are we like a reggaeton thing? That's
God,
definitely
can we
haunted
get a
in here,
soundboard? I'm gonna level with you.
Yeah.
That for whatever reason, that bathroom, my nieces have just recently informed me of this. It looks like Skibbity toilet.
Oh, you're learning the lingo of the young people?
Against my will, if I might add.
That's scarier than any ghost.
Any bathroom horror.
Honestly, yeah, but the toilet and just the way that it looks rendered to me.
I think it's worse. It's the worst part isn't the fact that there's a ghost there. The fact is that it's a ghost. It's just like annoying as shit. Like it's not even like. I'm like, are you kidding me? I get stuck with the worst like 7-year-old. Like, look at me. You're not looking.
Please give me attention.
Oh my god, dude! Like
It'd be less annoying if it was at the door.
Yeah.
Not the bath, not the
Honestly,
shower door.
Yeah, because at least if it was the door, you could just be like, okay.
And you couldn't see anything.
Yeah. You could at least like be sitting on the toilet and be like, I just 7 minutes, 7 minutes, and then I could go out and it'll be fine. But no, it's right there. You look to your right when you're trying to grab your paper, and it's just in your face.
Yeah.
Toilet paper. I was like, are you bringing a newspaper into the bathroom?
So
How
the
old
hand
are you?
itself, I mean, listen, I'm going to get hate mail on this. So here we go. So the hand itself looks like a kid's hand, right?
Yeah.
And so we got Ghost Kid being annoying in the shower, slamming his hand. Now, I wonder why it died.
Yeah, no shit.
You know what I mean? So here's the thing. I've seen this video before on a patio door. I've seen it a couple different ways. I don't know if that... I like how it shows a flawless transition between it banging and the guy opening up and looking right behind it. So you don't really see
Yeah.
the butt screen, right? So that's pretty good. I don't know if I believe that or not, though.
I am not an audio engineer. I know nothing about it. It confuses and frightens me. But the audio on the bang, 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 like, did that not sound like
Edited?
like piped in?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that sounded. Yeah, it sounded like.
Like it doesn't sound like the noise that shower doorway
Yeah,
It doesn't
makes.
sound like the raw audio from the video.
I'm a sprinkle in some cinema terminology here. It
All right.
sounds non-diegetic. Like it sounds like
What?
like some.
Sounds
Cha-ching.
Sounds like a
so
default sound.
diegetic is like when something
I have
is
a
like.
butt for that.
We do have a soundboard.
We do have. God,
We do.
you've been holding out on us. So. Diegetic is like when something is happening like in a scene. Like if someone is listening to music on a radio,
Yeah.
that would be a diegetic piece of sound. So when something is non-diegetic, it is like when there's a badass action scene and they like needle drop like a song to like just get you hyped up, but the characters can't hear it.
Yeah.
That's non-diegetic. So that seemed like a non-diegetic sound to me.
We just learned something here today.
And that was Professor Tbone.
Yeah.
I mean, damn.
I wasn't good enough to be a real teacher, though. I was unprofessional.
Uh-oh.
You mentioned like the
Like my face.
you mentioned like the sound being unnatural. Imagine you walk in, you see that, and there's no sound. You just see a hand like motioning like that.
That's
in the dark.
that's better to me.
Better.
That's like
Something
easier.
quiet.
Yeah, I'm just at that point I could whatever, kid. Go.
That way I
Less annoying.
can.
I would handle that the way
Yeah.
that I handle my actual like niece, my actual like baby cousins, where I'm just like, whatever, just go.
All
go
right.
do it.
So let's real quick question for around the table. You ready?
Yeah.
If you walk in your bathroom
Mm.
and you see and hear this thing, what's the first thing you do, Seabass?
Oh, I'd probably just freeze. Like just not know what to do.
Right. It's a good answer.
Just probably stare at it for like 10 seconds and see if it just stops or if I have to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Mike?
I'm pretty sure I would ask it to leave and then start doing my business. I'm not going to lie.
No.
I've done similar things to spiders when I found them in the shower. I've been like, excuse you, and then continued on with my day.
I got things to
Daisy,
do.
so, daisy chaining off that, I'm making sure that I flush, because if that thing
Yeah.
does kill me, I'm not having the cops pull up with the spooky dookie still in there.
Right.
I'm not. I'm not gonna be like
Double
like-
embarrassed.
Yeah, that's not popping up on your news feed like poopy butthole guy dies on the toilet, pants around his ankles, shit still in the toilet.
T-Bone's not worried about the scary ghost in the shower. He's just worried about if
That
he
ghost
dies.
has already decided whether or not it's going to kill me. There is nothing I can do about that.
No.
I can decide how I'm going to be found.
That is what I have control over in this situation.
So the answer is freeze.
The fuck am I going to do against the ghost?
Not much.
You're more
What am I
worried.
going to do?
Great answers.
I like the you're not worried about the actual death. You're just worried about like, oh, I hope they don't find
Right.
blank.
That's like why you bring
I hope they don't find-
underwear everywhere you
That's why-
go.
no, that's
I
why
hope they
every
don't
single-
find my search
Every
history.
single movie, yeah, it's like it's like I'm about to die. I love you. Clear my browser history. Like that's a thing.
And by the way, the skeleton on the table is
Yeah.
doing some kind of a yoga pose.
Yeah, I was kind of futzing around with this and just like, oh, what's a
It is
spoopy
now
berry
the
position?
break
That's like
dancing
I was gonna
skeleton.
say, yeah, that's like mid like Jabberwocky's pose. Like that's dope.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. That'll
Now
be
he's
the
in a
next
back
pose.
bend.
It'll change poses every episode.
There you go. There you go.
That thing's not coming back next month.
Comment the name
There's
of this
no
guy.
way we're gonna forget. Or
No,
we're
it's
gonna
gonna
remember.
stay here, and then it's gonna change poses next time we get
Where-
here.
where
and
the-
then it's
why
gonna
Why
be
does
haunted.
poor
Where are the
Mike
tarot
get
cards at?
bone crotch shot of the skeleton?
I
That's
don't
so
know.
unfair.
I'm just kind of
Yeah, it does kind of look like an Usher video a little bit, where he's just like thrusting away.
Also a human
dead.
resource nightmare. The skeleton.
Now it's just dead.
There you go.
Comment a name for this guy.
We need a name, folks.
We do.
Info at 216.net. Go ahead. Text in a name for the skeleton. We will keep it here. We will name it every time someone gets
Alas,
it.
poor Yorick.
That'd be great.
I knew
He
him.
looks like he's screaming, I am here.
I am Spartacus.
That's right.
But
All right.
all right, next up.
Up next, we got you, Mike.
Sure do. All right, so we all know I do love a good story. And
Yeah.
I do love a good story that leads to a theory train. So
Choo choo, bitches.
shoot you, baby.
Get on aboard the tinfoil hat train.
Okay.
We made hats.
Nobody made
No,
hats,
nobody
but
made
that's okay.
hats.
I don't
We're
need
all
it.
very tired.
We don't need a hat to go crazy.
We
so.
were anticipating other things too. But okay, so this is
Open your fourth eye. Your third eye should already be open.
this is the story of the missing village on
Okay.
Lake Angikuni. I do apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly. I'm doing my best.
She's doing better than y'all would.
True.
Which is an Inuit tribe. This happened in 1930. So this is the type of story where this has been retold so many frickin' times that it's pretty construed at this point, which is why there are so many theories that happen with it. But the gist of it is that a Joe LaBelle was a fur trader that went up to the village of the Angikuni, and he was looking to start trading fur, namely beaver and caribou, which is very normal for that area. This is just known history at this point. But when he got to the village, no one was there. And when I say village, I mean like Avatar: The Last Airbender Southern Water Tribe village, like couple
Right.
different
Great
things.
visual.
Okay, anyway,
I'm on one today.
but anyway,
I've gone 2 episodes without knowing that fucking soundboard is there, and I will never forgive you.
He's
I
gonna,
will
he's gonna
never
surprise
forgive
you. He's gonna surprise you with sound effects.
yeah, every now and again. But anyway, so the village he like got there, and it is just barren. I mean, there's like articles of clothing that still have needles pushed through the fabric. Like there are just bits and like pieces of people who looked like they just got up and went to the bathroom, saw a ghost, and then just didn't come back.
Now you're getting burned. I'm the next one.
I'm just saying.
But
That's spooky dookie.
It's true.
spooky dookie.
That's the most terrifying thing of all.
That's actually one of the theories. But
It's the ghost turd.
so in this village, there are around 25 people who lived here, and from what he could see, it just looked like everybody like up and just got out of town. And so while he was like walking around, he's taking a look at everything and just kind of confused. I don't know if he had ever been to this particular village before, but it seems like it was an area where fur trading was common. So I assume that he had either done it before or it was well known enough that he knew to go there.
Right.
That's the only thing I can assume here. But what really caught his attention was when he was wandering the area a bit, trying to see if he could find anybody. He had discovered a grave that had been dug up.
Okay.
And in the vicinity, there are like certain things that he was looking at where it was like, this clearly wasn't an animal, because you can kind of tell when it's an animal digging up
Yeah.
a body or
Right, yeah.
digging up anything.
There's a certain precision to like when a human is doing something versus
Yes.
when an animal's doing it. Yeah.
Yes. And so what he noticed, he was like, everything around here is pretty undisturbed. This is very obviously intentional by a person. And so that was it. That was it. He essentially saw this and he got spooked, and then he got out of town. And then it was written about in a local paper. I have it written down here. Well, I can't read my own handwriting, so been there. But it was written in a local paper and not really talked about a whole lot until several years later, where then it started getting talked about a whole ton and then getting construed. Now, one of the working theories of this, which is honestly my favorite, is that the dude just straight up lied. Just straight up lied.
All fake.
Cap.
Everything's fake.
Yeah,
Everything's
that's my favorite.
fake. Don't believe
Well, back then
anything.
it's easier, right? Because
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no way to prove differently.
Yeah.
There's no fact checkers.
Well,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Well, this fact checker, someone actually did like try to fact check it. I don't know how recently that occurred, but they did try to fact check it, and they were saying like, the tribe would have been much bigger at that point. There's no way that like they could have just disappeared like that. And also the newspaper that it was written about in was the author was kind of known to like embellish things a little bit.
Okay.
Always makes a better story.
Little,
Yeah.
Spicing it up.
Little Randolph Hearst, little yellow journalism.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit. But I do wonder how much of it was actually true, even if it was embellished a little bit. Because it was never like, it was never a question of, they never, as far as I read, they didn't really question if the tribe had fully disappeared, because we do know that has occurred. That's happened
Yeah.
before.
yeah.
There are several stories where that's happened, but they were just saying like, it's pretty strange that they didn't notate more about this. And that's currently my favorite working theory.
They just made it up.
They just made it up,
Okay.
just straight up lied, about at least about major portions of it.
Okay.
And then the other one is aliens.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Aliens is always a great answer.
Always.
It's
I mean,
the all
it's
end
kind
all.
of like the real life
Aliens.
version of like a wizard did it,
Yeah.
because it's like, well, they're aliens. They could do. They're like Superman. They could do whatever the writer needs them to do.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It's magic.
That's right. A wizard did it. I like that. I'm gonna use that now moving forward. Wizard did it.
A wizard did
Yeah.
it. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. A wizard
It was
did it.
me, the wizard. I did
You
it
know,
all
I've
along.
heard stories about villages, like a little more recent than that, even Old West, maybe.
Yeah.
Kind of thing where the people disappeared.
Red rum.
Yeah,
Red
little red rummy on that one.
Yeah.
But where the actual people have disappeared and then like years later have reappeared.
Oh,
Kind of thing. I've heard stories like that.
oh, that's creepy.
Well, and so
too.
what's
Weird,
interesting
weird.
too is like how close to the Arctic are we talking?
So this is pretty far north. I didn't write down what lake it's by, but it's in Canada.
Okay, so this is like
This is pretty far
way up near like Alaska, like
Or like closer to the North Pole.
we're closer to the North Pole than we are to like the bottom of Canada.
It says
believe so.
small Inuit community off the coast of Lake Angikuni.
Okay.
You say that way better than I do. I don't know.
So, I mean,
Regardless,
if
it's
we're
cold.
if we're building villages and we're building civilizations on blocks of ice,
Mm-hmm.
ice moves.
Yes.
Like, and that is something that I've done. I've seen some videos about about explorers in like Soviet era Russia that did Arctic expeditions and got lost up in those sort of Arctic areas where they would find camp. They would make camp on these ice sheets, and they would wake up in the middle of the Arctic Ocean.
Yeah.
And
Oh, jeez. That's terrifying.
I wonder. First of all, I have questions about this tribe. I have questions about sort of like what the sort of hunting situation was. Was
Yeah.
it just like the men go out to hunt, or was it everybody? Was there some sort of a ritual happening?
You
Was
need to
there-
know more about their
Yeah.
culture and how they lived day to day to understand what possibly could have happened, because otherwise it really is just theorizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in a tribe that seems like it's very isolated and probably
And because I
hard to
wonder
get
also,
to.
I know a lot of sort of pre-colonial indigenous populations. A lot of them are nomadic,
Yeah.
and so
I
I
believe
want.
this one is too,
I
actually.
wonder if they just sort of packed up and went somewhere else where they would later have been discovered, or like would have, made new trading relationships by
Yeah.
different people who came there at different times, and they didn't feel the need to talk about, hey, by the way, we used to be the Angikuni or
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever, because
They
that
just
has
changed their name or
that has no
something.
relevance to
I
them.
think the one issue is that it looked like they were still at camp.
Okay.
Like they were still living there.
Okay.
You know,
so
I think
there were
that's-
signs of it, or
yeah, again, there were like pieces of clothing that someone was sewing together.
Yeah, so according to what I'm seeing here, I don't word very well, but I'm looking at pictures. We're looking at igloos here, people. So
Yeah.
I mean, like Tbone said, we're on ice. But here, even in what it says, the police eventually determined that it had been missing for about 8 weeks before LaBelle arrived, right? But they never found out why the entire village had evacuated
Yeah.
the area, right? So the RCMP, which is the Royal Canadian Mountain Police, got involved. Officers reported seeing mysterious pulsating lights in the sky over the lake.
Is that not just the Northern Lights?
Well,
So I think I
They're
was reading.
pulsating. I don't know.
I was reading something on there too, because I was kind of looking at it where there's something on that page that explains the difference between what they were describing and the Northern Lights.
Oh, you mean right below there?
Yes.
The next that would be the next paragraph.
Which, I mean, having done a whole bunch of research for last month's episode about weird lights, like there's
You're the light king.
I am.
You are.
I am
the
the
light.
I am the oh, shit.
The
hold
Light
on.
Lord, if you will.
yeah,
The Lord of the Light.
Yeah, Ragnaros the Light Lord. Live
True.
insect.
But yeah, those pulsating lights are actually part of the alien theory. There's actually quite a bit in
my
that
favorite
theory.
theory.
Of course it is. We need our tinfoil hats, guys. But there is actually like a huge. There are way too many facts about leading to it being alien abduction
Yeah.
in this particular in this particular instance. But I would like to open up the floor to the theory train, because I think that this is ambiguous enough that we really can just throw out our ideas of what we think happened.
So yeah, if I'm putting on my smart boy pants, I would imagine that there was some sort of what I think one of two things happened. I think either there was some sort of like animal attack. There was they found out something about the land around them. Maybe the ice wasn't as stable as they had wanted it to be. Maybe there was like something was wrong to where they needed to book it, and they needed to book it fast. I don't know what sort of animals are around there, if any.
Caribou, beavers.
Caribou, beaver. That's true. Yeah, because they were trading for those.
There were animals.
And I also wonder if there was a potential like a sort of like a ritual thing where like everybody in the town went to some specific place, and then a piece of ice broke off. That's a thing that happened.
They just floated away.
Yeah,
what a terrible way to go, though.
They don't even necessarily have to have gone. Like
they just went to another plot of land.
The ice can float into somewhere else. That's happened too, where it's like it crashes up on the shore, and it's like, well, I guess we live here now.
I guess.
You're talking about big pieces of ice here.
Yeah, that's fair, but
Yeah.
Well, if it looks evacuated, right? They could have just emergency happened,
Yeah.
and they were like, "We need to pack up shit and get the hell out of here,"
yeah,
and went somewhere else. I mean, it's very possible.
yeah, that is possible.
Yeah, the animal theory is pretty interesting. Like if they said that if there was any trace of like animal tracks all over the place, or if they just went out to a certain point, it's like, oh, there's just a bunch of wildlife that's like getting closer and closer. We can't stay here.
Also, like, were there any other tribes nearby?
Yeah, there are several actually.
So could it not have been some beef? Could another tribe not have rolled up on this tribe in the middle of the night and like attacked and captured people? I guess there would have been signs.
Yeah, I think there would have been signs.
There would
of
have been
struggle
signs
at
of a
that point.
struggle.
There would have been blood and like
Something
violent. Yeah.
I mean, there is also the
They could have dance battled it out, though.
They could have.
They sure could have.
They could have hit him with like one of these.
Hit him with the gritty. Just trip walk all over. You can't handle this. And then the ice breaks off.
Shut it up.
No.
Then the loser has to get on the ice and it breaks away and they float away onto the ocean.
Loser has to leave. Bye.
That's a loser leaves town match.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that would make sense too, though. But
I also wonder, could it be like a Croatoa situation where they ended up sort of merging with
other
those
people?
nearby tribes?
you know, that's
Or Roanoke, I should say.
that is very. That's a good point, but I feel like at that point, if they're like knowingly going like, "Oh, we're gonna go join these people,"
They would've brought their shit
they
with
would have
them.
brought their crap.
Yeah,
That's
like
the
why did they
problem.
leave the dogs to starve?
Yeah, the dogs were left. I did read somewhere that LaBelle like went fishing and then fed the dogs, and so like
That's nice.
yeah, what a good guy. Actually, I
Don't
quote me on
say that
He
about a colonizer.
probably- yeah,
Do
he
not
probably
say that
wasn't
about a
good.
colonizer.
At the very least, thank you for feeding the dogs, sir. I don't know the rest.
Sociopaths are usually really good with animals. Let's not.
Okay. Anyway, thank you for feeding the dogs. Anyway, I think my other thing is that the grave.
Exhuming the
The
body
grave?
is interesting.
I don't quite
That's also
understand
scary.
that
Who had
one.
been in the empty grave, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's interesting.
Zombie snowman?
No, it's the abominable snowman.
Oh, okay. Oh, now we're too ridiculous.
The abominable
Sebastian's just like,
snowman.
That's where we crossed.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I got snow cones.
Yeah, ghost hurts. That's one thing. But the Yeti.
He's got snow cones.
Yeah.
He's got snow cones. All right, Seabass.
Thank you.
Seabass, what's your running theory?
The abominable
I'm
snowman.
good.
Oh, it is the Bible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm nothing but pleased.
It's the
With what
it's
we've added to
that
this
it's that
program.
thing from Empire Strikes Back, that giant snow monster. I can't remember the name of
the
it.
wampum.
Yeah, the Wampa, the Vavampa,
Vavampa.
the Vavampa.
Directed by Robert Eggers. The Vavampa.
I'm a level.
All right.
I've never seen Star Wars. I've
Oh
seen-
boy, that's the scariest thing of all.
That's fine. Don't worry
Show
about it.
just got canceled.
Don't worry about it.
We just lost our audience.
I've seen exactly one movie, and I think
Which one was it?
I think it was the first one.
Oh no,
okay.
four?
Yeah.
Like
Which first one?
Phantom Menace. That's a rough first Star Wars.
No, but that's a good place to start because it could only go up or down.
Let's see if I have to clarify.
Attack of the Clones is
which
The
worse.
first one made.
The first one created.
Okay, yeah, the New Hope. That's
Yeah.
a good one because that's the most complete story.
If
Because they didn't know they were getting a fucking sequel.
I'm never gonna finish this series because if I have to clarify which first one I watched, I'm no longer interested.
Hey, that's fair.
It's going way too deep.
Oh man.
But anyway,
great.
I think it was a zombie that came to life and then ate everybody. That's it.
It's a good theory. I'm thinking they had to get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
And
maybe
maybe the grave was emptied because that was Grandma.
Beloved village elder
Beloved
wanted
village
to
elder.
wanted to bury,
know what their
wanted to
beliefs
bury the
are.
body
Yeah.
somewhere. Yeah.
Honestly, something that just popped in my head is like, what if someone, because they were doing fur trading with, colonizers. What if someone brought a disease?
Then we
And
would have
then-
found the bodies.
No, I know, but what if someone brought a disease and someone got sick and they associated it with the land, and so that's why they decided to up and get.
Theory of the land. So you give it-
Yeah. And that would also explain why they left the stuff because it's like, oh, it's tainted.
It's tainted.
But why would they take the dead body and leave the dogs?
Again, it could be it could be.
Maybe
We don't know anything about this tribe. Is the only thing. So
Yeah.
it's like,
We know very little. I mean, there's probably more on the internet that I just didn't see.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah.
But as far as what I read, I know. very
Listen,
little.
folks, if you want to find out more, hit the old interweb,
yeah.
and it should give you a little more data. There you
could
go.
dive down the rabbit hole.
Pre-colonial indigenous writing and like literature and research is a super fascinating.
Super.
It's a very cool and very interesting place to be.
Please take it more seriously than what I did.
Then not at all.
Not at all. I do take it seriously. It's just for this one. There was it got so construed at a certain point that I was just like,
Thank you.
I don't know how accurate any of this is going to be, regardless of how much I research.
Yeah,
Right.
true.
We all know I do like doing my research for things, but there are just too many changes in each story from every source that I saw for me
Yeah.
to be like, okay. At a certain point,
We are doing this on top of our like jobs.
Right.
we do work full-time jobs, everybody.
This is something that we do on the side.
We're
for
all
fun.
jumping on the excuse
Let-
train.
You're goddamn right. Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Choo choo.
All aboard the paranormal, and we're all tired.
So check it out. I have two. All
right.
I'm gonna show one. I'm gonna come to you because mine is just kind of self-explanatory,
Yeah.
but creepy nonetheless. Right.
Oh, good.
All right. Let's lay it on me.
Excellent.
Us.
Let me go ahead.
Not just me.
And do these.
Just about you, Tyler.
Yeah, I lack object permanence sometimes. I
All
forget.
right.
It's okay.
Big shout out to our guy over at
Slapped him.
Loving his videos as always, but this one segment here, this will give you a little. It'll give a little.
And
bit
to
of
glitch a little. So is this just a glitch or a genuine ghost sighting? Give the clip another look and tell us what you think down in the comment section.
All right, here we go.
One unlucky TikTok video creator, Kraken Jack, has captured something on camera that will surely make you squirm. In the brief clip, we see the tap head of a bathroom sink. Clearly a nightmare is unfolding. Let's take a look.
That name is familiar to me.
As you can see, dangling from the sink is what seems to be a thin brown worm soaked in water. The camera operator holds a napkin and places it near the worm, which quickly pulls itself into the head of the tap and disappears. At first glance, the worm just looks like a piece of hair, but its rapid movement definitely makes it suspicious. Commenters were quick to point out the similarities to the larval demigorgon in Stranger Things. Some thought perhaps it was actually the leg of a spider sitting just inside the tap. The irksome pest was later identified to be a drain worm, which are the larvae of a drain fly. These slippery suckers tend to hide in moist areas of the home. Spotting one often hints at a much larger infestation somewhere in the house.
True. That's
Imagine one of these bad boys fell into your drink without you knowing.
It's a nice little flavor surprise.
Oh god. Is it over? Is that thing on
That's
the is that sync still on the screen? Can I look
No,
up?
we're good.
no, we're on the screen now.
I don't do big groups of insects. Absolutely not.
So I had to show that just because I came across it on my hunts for producers.
Because you hate us.
And listen, this
That
show is
first one
great
was
because
great.
it's about whatever makes you go, right? I mean, that's just how we do.
He found that to torture me specifically. He had no idea. It just a message appeared from the ether, just like, hey,
This
here's
will
how you
upset
ruin
Tyler.
your
There's a
co-host.
phobia. I don't know what it's called. I'm sure you have a big language. You
A big language.
right. You
I'm
have
sure
a-
it's like
Arachnophobia?
It's like encephalopia. Or
No, it's
something.
because it's not just ants, although it's mostly ants. It's like large groups of insects.
ento, as in like entomology.
Is it?
Yeah, like insects, the study of insects.
Yeah. I just
ENTO.
yeah, because I don't have a problem with like an insect. Like if I just see one ant, I'm like, all right, whatever.
I love being the dumbest guy in the room. I learned so much. I just love it.
No,
I'm
I
just
agree.
playing with
I
you guys.
totally agree. I think like clusters of insects, first of all, very foreboding. Like just in general, across multiple cultures, if there is just a cluster of nasty bugs, it is not usually a good sign, but also just really gross.
Yeah, I don't like so like here's my shit where it's like spiders don't bother me usually because it's just like one spider.
Love spiders.
And it's just me, like we can have an understanding where it's like, okay, stay out of my space. I'll bring you outside, and then the problem is over.
Yeah.
If there's like 50 ants,
No.
like I'm overpowered at that point. There's too many of them. There is only one me.
Right.
I don't fuck with it.
I don't care if I'm 6'2".
I'm not 6'2".
Yeah, I ain't gonna.
You guys,
Spiders don't bother me unless it's a certain kind of spider.
what spider?
Which one is it?
Bigger the worse.
Well, so quick story. As a kid in Wisconsin,
Wisconsin.
hanging out at some farmland, right?
Uh-huh.
In shorts, walking around, stepped on a pile of rotted hay, and my leg went all the way through the hay.
Oh no.
And I had a nest of baby wolf spiders.
Oh.
To where I had to strip down and jump in a creek.
Yeah.
And yeah, that left nightmares, right? So
Yeah.
So moving forward, I'm not a big fan of spiders. Some of them I can handle. Some of them are just like somebody get me the shotgun.
Jumping
Flamethrower.
spiders are adorable.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
so
They're
cute.
so cute.
They're
love
also cuter when they're burning on fire. I
Oh.
can't handle them.
No, you don't like jumping spiders?
I don't like any of them.
I'm a level with you. I actually do have a very deep fear of two specific bugs. They're not spiders. I like spiders. It's not ants. It's not even well, I don't like cockroaches, but that's because they're nasty. I will scream if I see a moth or a fly, though.
Moths?
Okay.
Oh, I know why. I know
Yep.
this. I know this story. Never
Yep.
mind.
I had a moth that was sitting in my cup one time at like 2 a.m. and I didn't see it.
Yeah.
And so when I picked it up, I took a drink and the moth went right into my mouth and it started flapping around. And that's happened almost happened a handful of times afterwards. And so it just messes with you.
I wish we had a Drew cam right now so you could just see
You
this
could
man.
just see how
This
gobsmacked.
man's jaw
No,
is
no,
just
no.
on the
Not
floor.
great.
I mean,
It's not great.
there's no way in hell there would be an instant rubbing alcohol bath to the mouth.
Yeah.
There's no way.
No, I'm pretty sure what happened was I just let any liquid that I had in my mouth fall out and just grabbed around and threw it.
That's a
And-
scene from a Guillermo del Toro film.
It was. You know what's crazy is it was like the middle of summer in Seattle, Washington.
Yep.
And there was just a ton of caterpillars that year. And so I had like my little candle, I had like the window open, and when they started becoming, moths, it started coming into my window, and it just happened to be right next to my cup. And I cried so hard because of course I did. And
I would.
when I told my sister,
That's a lot of protein, by the way.
she had a similar reaction. I told my sister, and I love you so much, Jacqueline. I hate you till the end of time for this comment. She goes, well, at least you used mouthwash.
That's great.
Shout out to Jacqueline.
Yeah, so there's that.
Wow.
And then flies is because the incident. Anyway, continuing on.
Oh, moving on from the flies. All right, Tbone. We're going to go ahead
Here we
pop
go.
Tbone stuff up right onto that screen.
All right.
there.
So we got to start off this week, or this month, I should say, with an admission of guilt.
Okay.
I have lied to you all.
Oh no.
I wasn't intentional, but it was nonetheless. At the beginning of last month's episode, Drew kicked things off by asking us if we've experienced a paranormal event. And after sort of half-cocked ramblings about the Hodag for a little bit, I eventually settled on no. That's not true. At least not entirely. I don't know how this slipped my mind. I don't know how this hasn't been brought up yet, but I have, in fact, had a pretty significant paranormal experience. And just to tell you about it, I'm going to have to start by telling you the story of Beulah the Witch on Bloods Point Road. Now,
Here we
Wish we
go.
had
Buckle up,
everybody.
Buttercup.
Dun,
Bloods Point Road is a stretch of road that leads to the Bloods Point Cemetery, not far from Cherry Valley and Belvedere, Illinois. It's about 45 minutes. Well, from here, I would say it's probably closer to an hour and a half from our current studios, but it's a little bit closer to where I live. And so the story goes is that Bloods Point Road and Bloods Point Cemetery were both started in the 1830s by a man named Charles Blood,
Okay.
which is an
Already,
what a
name.
lad.
already scary.
legendary.
Chucky Blood, also
Chucky Blood.
Chucky Blood, also
Wow.
also my nickname in college.
Man,
Bloody chuckles.
My
that's an evil
So-
clown name.
so
That's hard.
so the story goes that Charles Blood owned a good chunk of land on this area, and he owned most of it except for this one little shack, and this little shack was run by a woman named Beulah, and Beulah supposedly what
Beulah.
Stop it.
Fry. Anyway,
Stop it.
and
Stop it, you two.
so
Stop this madness.
So Beulah, in a very Castlevania sort of way, was
Oh, yeah.
accused by the local townsfolk of consorting with the devil.
Oh.
And
Adios, me.
in addition to consorting with Lucifer, she was also consorting with Charles Blood's 3 young children.
Oh no.
And Charles found out and decided that the only way to save their mortal souls was to hang the 3 of them off of the bridge that runs under Bloods Point Road.
Oh god, that escalated.
And the witch found out, and she was enraged.
Oh.
And she, along with her familiar, which I'll get into the familiar later because it's important to my story.
Yeah.
She put a curse. She put a curse on the stretch of road. And ever since then, all sorts of strange things have happened on Bloods Point Road. Oh my God. If you are brave enough to make your way up to the Bloods Point Cemetery at the end of the night, it is said that if you find the right shack at the wrong time, you'll run into Beulah, and you won't come back out.
Is this going to end with a sugar shack and Beulah's a stripper?
No,
Oh, okay.
I wish.
So, real quick, I don't want to interrupt you, but so I'm
lay it
picking
on
on the story. So, Lucifer is making this deal, right?
Yeah.
And also this person is consorting with Charles Blood's 3 kids.
Yes. She was associated with them in some way that rendered them irredeemable
Okay.
to Charles,
Okay.
and I don't know why. I couldn't find that information.
Because we're talking high level demon here.
Yeah, straight to the
we're
top.
We're talking a guy with the last name of Blood, but that's got 3 kids.
Yeah.
I'm trying to weigh those
well,
together. But go
we'll
ahead.
so save our questions for the end of the
Yeah,
story.
go
'cause
for
we'll
it.
get-
Sorry.
So there are all sorts of stories about the misgivings and things that have happened on Bloods Point Road. And the most famous one, and the one that if anyone does know this story, that I would catch heat if I didn't bring up at least a little bit, was there is a story of a school bus full of children
Oh, good.
that were that were crossing over the same bridge that those 3 children were hung from.
Yeah.
And supposedly the bus driver, who in some versions of the story is wearing a clown suit.
That's great.
I'm not sure where the clown suit comes from.
That's
I
how you
read
know
that-
you're in
I
danger.
read that in a single article. If you have details as to where the fuck the clown suit comes from, reach out to me.
This is
Please.
what we were talking about when we
Well,
said
like and
sometimes
subscribe
things
and
get
send us to our email.
misconstrued.
This is a movie waiting to happen.
Anyway,
It is.
Only here at the
good
Stories of the
stuff.
Paranow, folks.
so supposedly the bus driver crashed over the bridge, and there were no survivors.
Oh God.
And so if you drive your car on that little strip of on that little bridge, on that little strip of road in the middle of the night, and you stall out, which is known to happen, you will find your car being pushed ever so slightly over the edge.
Hmm.
And
Oh
Supposedly.
no.
if you sprinkle a little bit of baby powder, a little bit of something, you'll find tiny handprints on the hood of your car.
Oh God. That's scary.
So it sounds like we need to test this theory.
I may
Sounds like a live episode on site.
already have. Now,
Why would you do that?
so
Oh,
I promised there was a familiar earlier, and
Yeah,
now
yeah.
Huh.
the stories that I have been told, because I am a
the-
relatively recent transplant to where I live now.
Wait, does the bridge go over a river or train tracks? It's
bridge-
on the other
Bridge
photo.
goes over train tracks. Did
Oh,
I say
train
river earlier?
I thought I didn't know if
I
you
have
said
no
river or train tracks. So,
I
'cause
meant to say train tracks.
Train
Okay,
tracks,
okay.
right.
Yeah. So the bridge goes
Also
over.
guarded by hellhounds at the cemetery gate.
We're getting there.
Okay,
We're
sorry.
getting to the hellhounds.
I'm jumping ahead.
So the story that I heard was that the witch had a familiar that was a cat.
Ooh.
And if you make it to the right stretch of Bloods Point Road at the wrong time of night, yet again, you will find a black cat that runs in front of your car. And whatever you do not stop. If you stop for the cat, his owner comes in,
Oh no.
and you don't end up leaving that car.
Oh no.
So
Yeah, just run over that
story
cat.
that I
Aim
so
for the cat.
Aim
now-
for it.
I will tell you that when I tried to look up this, I did not find any versions of the cat. The cat I always heard through word of mouth, but what I did find was that same story, but replaced with hellhounds.
Mm.
Dear listeners, I have been to Bloods Point Road. I have been with a couple of friends of mine who are native to the area that I now call home, who I went up with at about 1:30, 2 in the morning. And I made it to the right stretch of Bloods Point Road at the wrong time.
Hmm.
And
Was
as-
this an intentional trip
Yes.
because of the story? Okay.
Yes,
That makes sense.
Yes.
Oh, if this was
Yeah, 'cause
accidental, I'd be terrified.
Because you know who I went with, her goth
Was there any
ass.
alcohol or
No, this
No.
was sober.
Are you sober?
I
This
know this was sober.
This was sober. The woman that I went is just a goth.
Love her.
Gotcha.
Love her.
So, so we went there, and as we're crossing the bridge, we had just gotten over the bridge where the children will push you over, and running right across the car is a large black something. I have never in my life seen it. It looked like a deer. It looked
Oh,
like
that large.
that large, but it was a shadow. I could not tell you what it was. The lights were on in the car, and it just looked like a shadow crossed the vehicle.
Christ.
And we are white, but we are not that kind of white. So we did not stop for that thing. We kept it pushing.
No, you
We
kill the
kept
animal,
rolling,
screw that animal,
and
it's
we
dead.
ran
dead
out
on
of
the
Bloods
car.
Point Road like bats out of hell.
You saw what you came to see and you got out.
That's
Absolutely.
great.
That's the way to do it, people.
And dear listeners, I may not be here with you today. We get stopped for whatever that thing was.
No,
never
you
know.
run that animal
No.
over.
Now
I'll
that
tell you,
podcast.
the friend that I went with, she has been a few more times. She went recently.
Why?
'Cause why not?
Yeah, I was.
See if
I don't
You've
know why.
met her. Don't do
I
that.
don't know why I
Why
asked.
wouldn't you?
So she went with a couple of other friends. She saw the hound again.
Ooh.
Earlier in life, she went with a group of other friends and found a group of, there were 3 cars that were all stalled on the bridge. The first car, the second car that had come to jump them, and the tow truck that had pulled up behind them,
Oh, that.
all stalled out on the bridge.
Ooh, that's. Yeah, that's. Ooh. No.
Yeah, once is a happening, twice is a coincidence, 3 times
Is a pattern.
is a pattern.
Is a trend. Now, if you go and look up any information online, you will find a bunch of people from the area that say that they cannot verify any of this, that none of this has actually happened. There is
BS
no
or
evidence
whatever
of any sort of
liar.
school bus crash, because that's the sort of thing that would be very easy to check. I'm from a town where a school bus crashed into a train and it rocked our community, like completely and to the core.
A
Oh, yeah.
state law was put into place.
And
Right,
granted, this was in the 1960s. Shit was a little bit different back then. It was not a full busload of kids crashes and dies and no one ever talks about it different, right? Like, I cannot give you any sort of verification for any of this. And if you talk to people that actually live on Bloods Point Road, because it is a place, people live there, they will tell you that it is all a bunch of malarkey, and please stop coming and jamming up their roads in the middle of the night.
Yep.
There was-
Everywhere's got that one road. Like when I was younger, Cuba Road was a
Cuba
stretcher
Road in
Yeah,
Barrington.
Cuba Road.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
So-
silent
Cuba Road.
of some
Yep.
kind,
Yep.
and then
So-
cars
Been
running
there.
off the road.
Yeah.
No,
Have we all been to Cuba Road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to take Cuba Road on the way
Accidentally.
home from work.
No, but did you go there like late at night looking for something?
I probably
did.
drove
Oh,
there
yeah.
like plenty of times in the middle of the night, but not realizing the stories about it. So
Yeah.
I've heard the showing or an appearance showed a woman in white being on
Yes,
that
sir.
road. I've heard. We went and investigated it. Not
For the-
only
for
did
the
we
record-
investigated it, we investigated it high as a kite.
Yeah.
And,
So you were gonna see what you wanted to
Oh,
see, whether you
we're going-
like.
dude, we gotta go. check
Whether it
this
was there or
out,
not.
man. So yeah, we totally several times, and just
So-
to scare ourselves, right? And then there's this one big mansion kind of place that my buddy was like, "That's the insane asylum." I'm like, "It looks like a house doing gates." He's like,
So-
no, it's abandoned. I'm like, "There's cars next to
the lights are on.
just jump over the
Pretty
fence and
sure
see
that
what's
you're
up.
just trying to-
So there,
You know.
I did want to bring up a very funny story I learned while doing some research for this, where it was like someone was trying to start up a new Bloods Point Road legend, where it was like we got out of the car and we heard this violin music. We heard this eerie violin music late at night at like 2 a.m. There was like this like creepy, and then they interviewed the person whose house was next door and was like, "Yeah, we're a quartet of we like to play classical instruments." And we practice late at night.
So
'cause-
it wasn't a lie. It was
no, it happened. It was just like they pulled up next to like the family band.
they were playing their fiddles.
Yeah,
So,
we go.
Here's
We go onto the bridge, and I just hear Sephiroth's theme, and I'm just like, "Oh no, the real danger is coming! Screw that bus full of kids and those animals."
so dear listeners, I know that I'm often Mr. Facts and Mr. Science, and I can't provide you with that this time around. I can't provide you. In fact, everything that I looked up told me that none of this happened.
This is
All
probably
I
the
can
only
tell
one.
you
It's great.
is what I saw.
So it could be a lot of coincidence. It could be a lot of not coincidence, right? Because your brain's already there. Your brain's already in the fact, if you believe it or not, it's already in your head going, there's something, and here's part of a story or a tale. Something crosses in front of your path. Instantly, your brain goes right to that moment and says, yep, they're right. Or something's right. 3 cars that break down. Do we really know they were broken down? Was it one car that broke down and the one that's trying to jump them? And then finally the tow truck had to show up? We don't know. I don't have all that data to say. But I know that if you want something to have power, you're giving it power by believing in it. So I love, however, you're a great storyteller, number one. Number two, I love how you back your things up usually with facts too. And that you even came forward and said, hey, listen, you know I'm a fat guy. Facts guy. Didn't say fat guy.
I can be both.
Anyways, that should have been the cricket button. But
Yeah, everyone was laughing at that fat joke. Yeah.
Gotta update that soundboard.
Listen, you if you believe it, do you believe it?
Well, you thought.
Belief is a funny thing. I don't know. I know what I saw.
Yes or no answer.
Yeah, no, but like, it's one of those things where it's like I saw some
cooler. Is it cooler to believe it than not believe it?
I know I saw some weird shit that night.
That's cool.
And I think that life is short. And sometimes it's fun to believe in some spooky ooky nonsense.
I agree.
Some spooky
I agree.
dooky nonsense.
And I do believe that you saw something.
Yeah.
And I do believe that if it's unexplained and you couldn't find facts on anything to it, that it could be something. You know? Hellhound? I don't know. Listen, you're talking to a guy who loves the show Supernatural. Hellhounds, the Winchesters, the whole nine, right? Salt and burn everything. That's in my book. But great story, man.
I loved that.
Absolutely fantastic.
I wanted to, you know, I wanted to tell a good old fashioned ghost
Well, you
story
brought it to
this
the
month.
table. All three of you guys really did well this round for sure.
I especially appreciate that you were not being the skeptic today. It's just beautiful. We love to see it. Usually I'm
I
We
not.
love
character.
surprises.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
care. That's
I'm not. Hey, didn't I just talk about the last month the dangers of blind skepticism?
Pretty
Valid
much.
point.
Yeah.
Yes, sure. Stan.
That was my whole thing.
Yeah.
It's called duality, dear listeners.
Right.
Or hypocrisy, whatever you want to call it.
Potato.
Potato, tomato. All right, so here we go. Cappuccino is one of Cappuccino's favorites here. And so now we're going to bring on
Producer's pick.
the dolls.
whoop.
Right?
Oh, good.
You know we.
And
hate
so
the
we're not only
dolls.
talking
Always
the
with the
dolls, right? But
dolls.
here's
God
15
damn it.
haunted dolls that got caught moving on camera.
That's great.
We're
can't
not
wait to
going to have
pee
time for
myself.
all
R.L.
15
Stein is a
folks.
war criminal, dude. I'm sick of this.
Just due to the fact of dolls are one of my biggest fears. Because
So you have to torture us with them too.
Well, I mean, you know, stories of the Paranormal, right? And
Number 15, The Angry Doll. This video has been on YouTube since as early as 2009 and has been shared and talked about countless times. It's just such a convincing and scary video that no doll list would be complete without it.
I am going to have to say HR is not kicking that outfit out of that job.
True. Yeah.
You can get a My Doll.
Yeah. Dora the Explorer is acceptable in the workplace.
This young girl is holding a large doll, which appears to be a quinceañera doll, which is a doll given to girls at their 15th birthday celebration. The dolls are dressed to look similar to the teenager receiving them, and are meant to symbolize the final toy the teenage girl will receive before becoming a woman. The doll is wearing a very extravagant dress as well as a tiara. The girl holding the doll is speaking Spanish, but she seems to be saying something about the doll being ugly. The doll quickly moves its head towards the girl, and the person holding the camera alerts her. Once the young girl notices
I retract everything I just said about
What'd you say to me?
that the doll's head has moved, she throws the doll down and screams.
Bueno, aquí les presentamos a la muñeca de Betty que se la regalaron hace 15 años. No manches, Nina.
Unlike in some other videos, the girl doesn't laugh at all, and
Hold on, blow the whistle, pump the brakes. You can see her hand.
You can see her hand move it.
So right here.
I thought that
you
was
see
her hand.
midway-
She's holding it up. She's holding it up here. Like,
Is she though?
yeah.
So let's watch her throw it here real quick, right?
Uh-huh.
Where is it? Okay, maybe
Oh,
I backed
man.
it up too far. All right, hold on.
Person holding the camera alerts her. Once the young girl notices that the doll's head has moved, she throws the doll down and screams.
Bueno, aquí me presentamos
that's
a la
right,
chica de
that's
verde
right.
que se la regalamos en No manches, mira.
Unlike in some other videos, the girl doesn't laugh at all, and there isn't even a clear smile on her face. Real or not, something clearly happened here.
However, that girl was basically like, "Look at this ugly doll." The doll's like, "What'd you say to me?" Right?
What?
Back that up.
That genuinely terrified her. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person. So if you're generous enough to like this video, then thank you, because it really helps us out. Number 14, Possessed Barbie. When you think of haunted dolls, you probably picture a cracked porcelain doll with dead eyes, or a rotting away baby doll with an eerie laugh. Like some of the previous entries in this list, it's hard to take the beloved and beautiful Barbie and see it as creepy. This video will make you think twice about that mentality. Really, any object can be haunted by a strong enough spirit or entity, so leaving Barbie out is just wrong. This little girl is having a great time playing with her two dolls, talking in different voices for each of them. A male voice calls from another room and the child responds. As she turns back to her Barbie, not a second passes before the doll sharply turns its head towards the child. The little girl immediately throws the dolls down, screams, and nearly falls backwards.
Sei lá. Mas você mexia. O que aconteceu com você? Hã? Fala uma coisa. O Rafa começou a rir.
Sara, vem comer!
Tá bom!
I love how all of these are in Spanish.
The video ends there, and there's no information on what became of this haunted doll or child. Number 13, Composition Doll. Number 15, The Angry Doll. This video has been on a doll with an eerie laugh. A male voice called Number 13.
So that one was almost like broken neck doll.
Yeah,
right?
a little
She yelled at her
bit.
dad,
The doll died.
and she shifted it, and it looked like its head just cocked sideways. So I don't know if I buy anything on that.
The doll was like, "What'd you just say to your dad? He just said come eat."
Yeah, it's like the same kind of movement.
Composition.
And notice they're all like, in different language too. So it's and maybe it's just a haunting of foreign dolls.
Doll. A composition doll is a baby doll made with the old technique of using sawdust, glue, cornstarch, resin, and wood flour. They were popular during the 19th century, but production ceased when plastic became the popular material for toys and dolls. Therefore, it's clear that the composition doll featured in this video is at least 70 years old, and possibly even older. According to the description for this April 2016 upload, the owners purchased the doll at a flea market and were given little information about the antique. The doll allegedly did not begin to move until the couple placed it on their chaise. In addition, the owners did not believe in ghosts, so they are astonished by this evidence. With how old and damaged this doll is, the slow and convincing movement is truly horrific. Number 12, Old Doll. This short and simple.
So
This guy's voice is killing me too.
It kind of reminds me of the Burger King foot lettuce.
So examining this one where it's on this blanket or this chaise, right? But they got the camera so up close to this thing. Anything can be underneath that, poking that arm upwards. Who knows?
Yeah.
So I mean, listen, there's 15 of these things, right? And
Least convincing.
Honestly, the scariest part of this thing is the fact that the doll looks like that. That's the scariest
that is
part.
one of the scariest things. I know how
It's the visual.
Yeah.
I mean, if we
Paranormal experts only, that's us.
She likes to move to different places.
Was left. Other objects would be moved allegedly by the doll. He caught an EVP from the doll, and in one video he seems to be possessed while holding the doll. During the EVP session, the app he uses works as a gateway to apparently allow the doll to communicate. Spunk asks if she's a ghost, and she says, "Not a ghost," at one point, and an agonizing voice even begs, Free me.
Let go. See me.
Well, over a year later, after countless menacing...
Hold up.
Free me from this prison.
I'm not gonna lie, I heard nachos and feed me. But I'm not even just trying to be quirky
Are you
there.
sure
I
you're not
really-
just hungry?
That is
You need a
Not
happy
ghost,
meal.
but yes, nachos and feed me.
nachos and
Actually make a better story to it.
I can get you a Happy Meal.
yeah. But I'm not even trying to be
It's like
quirky
the
there.
worst, like low budget Little Shop of Horrors remake.
Yeah. Honestly, that one wasn't even that scary because it wasn't like the doll itself.
Well, you're an audio engineer. You made that sound, brother.
Look, we can see your soundboard.
Right. Yeah. It's like, don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Man, for real.
Paranormal experts only.
I love it. So there's so many. There was one that I found that was a little disturbing, and it was a monkey stuffed animal right,
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
that they stuffed in a storage locker with all this stuff. Well, he would go and check on his unit once in a while and notice that there was all kinds of stuff broken and disarrayed. So he put a camera in the storage unit and reviewed it and watched this little stuffed monkey like come to life.
Oh my God.
And that was the only thing that gave me a little bit of a like, I don't know about that. That thing needs to get burned, right?
Yeah.
A little salt, little burn. But other than that, that's what we got for today, folks. I think it was a great show. Mai, what do you think?
Flush your toilet, feed your
Yeah.
dogs, drive down spooky roads at the end of the night. That's it.
Don't get caught with your pants down.
And make sure you flush.
Yeah.
Flush your toilet.
And just keep driving and kill that shadow animal.
Oh,
Don't.
Bye. 216 Creator Studios, your gateway to professional podcasting. Whether you're a seasoned podcaster or just starting, 216 Creator Studios offers state-of-the-art podcast studios designed to meet all your recording needs. From crystal clear audio quality to a comfortable creative space, we've got you covered. With fully equipped rooms, expert support, and flexible booking options, you can focus on what matters most, your content. Join us and bring your voice to life in the best environment for podcast creation. 216 Creator Studios is here to help you create something extraordinary.